Welcome back to Unscripted. It has been a minute since I've had an episode, and from my studios here in Columbus, Ohio, straight to Nashville, Tennessee, the Dave Ramsey studio. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right. My guest today is a many-time returning. I lost count how many, but one of the OGs, one of the originals. So, Curt, how are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me. And it's been a minute since you've done it, but you look like it's like riding a bike. Look at you.
Don't look at me. Seriously, don't do that. Nobody wants to see that. No, it's been good, man. It's been good. I took a little sabbatical, just trying to put things in order. So
Yeah.
it's good to be back, but it's good to be back with you. So my guest is Curt Harding, has been on multiple times, like I said, works for Dave Ramsey. What else is going on in your life as far as things that you're doing? We're going to talk family in a minute, but what else is going on for you?
Well, I'm in the middle of writing a book, which has been interesting. It's my 15th time trying to write a book, so I'm really good at trying to write a book.
I feel that.
But this time I've surrounded myself with people that I think are going to help me a lot more than before, when I just thought I could just run out and just do it. Like, how hard can it be? So I'm hopeful that this time, not only is the concept good, the idea good, but I've got a good support system around me. So I've been working on that and just enjoying the beginning of summer. It's been here in Nashville for a couple of months now, and it's just been great to get outdoors. I'm doing that quite a bit, playing a little bit of basketball and trying to be active and walking with the wife and all that good stuff. So yeah, it's a good season. It's a very peaceful season, which is great.
Empty nest season, right?
Not yet.
No. Okay.
I do have two married daughters, but the daughter who just got married last year, her husband is in the Army, so he's still training, and she's living at home while he's doing that, and she's going to school. And but I think in December, maybe January, I think finally he'll know where he's going to be, and she'll rejoin him, and then empty nest time.
Well, I was going to ask that. You do have a new addition to the family I want to talk about in a second. But first off, you do have family members that are serving this nation. As you said, you have a son-in-law, it sounds like, and you also have a daughter who is serving our country. And so is everybody safe?
Everybody's safe, yes.
Good.
Emily is also now out of the Navy, but that's where she met Sloan. And Sloan was also on the same ship, and he was in the Navy, and he just decided, you know what, I'm going to switch branches. I'm going to go to the Army. So that's what happened there.
Is that common?
But she is now a Navy veteran, and she's a full-time student.
Well, we're thankful for her service and thankful that she was through it healthy and really didn't have to see much conflict, right?
Yes, that's right. She got to see some places around the world. She got to serve on a couple of ships and deploy. And you always read the headlines a little differently when you know your daughter's out there.
Right. Stay off TikTok.
So it's great to have her home. And now she's doing that GI Bill thing and trying to figure out the rest of her life. It's going to be fun.
Well, we're thankful for her service. And again, thankful that she's home and healthy and everything like that. The world's getting pretty tense. As you know, last night there was some, breaking news and things seem to be heating up a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Always concerned for any member of our military that could be in harm's way.
Absolutely.
Know that they sign up for that. Boy, just can't respect them enough for what they do for us. And so I want to check in on that. But you do have a new addition. Do you like what I did there? It's not Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, or Mike, but you do have a new addition.
I knew you'd get that in.
Always to the Harding crew. Tell us about the latest edition.
Yeah, well, as you know, I have twins, Megan and Emily. Emily is my Navy veteran who just got married last year, living at home. And then Megan got married a couple of years ago, and she just had a baby. And so she had a baby girl. And so I'm a grandpa for the first time ever, and it's really super exciting. It's so great to watch them as new parents, and just the sweetest baby in the world. It's been amazing.
Well, you can't see because we're out in audio. Curt's finger, he's got something is wrapped around it already. Is that fair to say? It looks like there's a small child wrapped around it.
She can have whatever she wants, whenever she wants it. It's so true. Yeah.
I love it. How is it being a grandparent?
So far, it's only been a few weeks, so it's been so interesting how gradual so far. I've really only seen her about 4 times, so we're giving them their space to figure things out. We don't want to be like overbearing at inside their window looking in. You need help, so we're giving them their space, but every time I see her, she changes by the day, and it's incredible to watch her waking up, and she's gorgeous. And she was huge, 10 pounds, 13 ounces.
That's a big baby.
Gigantic baby. And that's great. So everybody's healthy, and I'm just so happy. And it's really cool to see Dalton, my son-in-law, just how easy it's been for him, just being comfortable with a baby. I don't know if I was that way because I had twins, so I might have been like way overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But he just like took to it, like, oh yeah, this is easy, and that's been great to watch too.
Is it taking you back? Like, I feel like, our oldest is 20. He'll be 25 this year. Gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember changing diapers. I don't remember those things. It just, it goes so fast. And I know it's so cliche, but it's so true.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying like that look back a little bit?
Yeah, I really am, because it does bring back a lot of memories. Because you're right, you block out a lot of things.
Yeah.
People ask me to this day, "Hey, which baby was more of a crier, and did they wake each other up?" And you don't remember any of that stuff. I'm like, don't know. They seem
Yeah.
like they were great.
Yeah. You remember
I
the
don't know.
highlights, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it just,
yeah,
you kind of remember the highlights, and, you go back through Google Photos and you're like, that's right, we did that. Or, oh, that's right.
yeah.
For us, it's always at the beach, because you like to say that the Conrads go to the beach.
The Conrads, that's what Conrads do.
That's what Conrads do. And so we got a lot of beach pictures. But yeah, you look back through Google Photos and you're trying to find one for an Instagram post or something. And you're like, man, that's right. We did that. We did that.
Yeah.
So I kind of look forward to those days, but I'm not in a rush. I still got 3 weddings to go. So
yeah.
we're not in any hurry. And being the father of the bride will be, that'll be fun.
That will be amazing.
It'll be brutal.
Me. Yes.
It'll be brutal.
Yeah, it'll be so great. And I can't wait until the grandbaby gets to be like 2, 3, 4. That's the age of discovery. Everything is amazing,
Yeah.
That's a butterfly.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I can't wait for.
That's
Yeah.
right. Did you get a Michigan or Tigers onesie?
Of course.
That's right.
What kind of question is
That's the
that?
worst question ever. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, the indoctrination started after day 1. Are you
That's right.
kidding?
You showed up to the hospital in something, Michigan, did you not?
Yeah. And they were like, sir, you're going to have to leave.
That's right. Just baptized right away in the maize and blue. So, well, we just lost the Columbus audience. That was that click you heard. Was everybody getting out? No, that's so awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. And
Thank you.
Again, wanted to get you back on today. I'm going to juggle the schedule here a little bit. You've gone home a few times. You went home to Michigan. Speaking of Michigan, you've gone home a little bit and done some. I know you took a little bit of a sabbatical. Just took a ride by yourself to. I think we talked about that last time you were on, but I think you may have done it again since then. But what does it mean to go home to you?
Oh man. And I thought of you a lot because I know how much you relate to this, seeing where you grew up and just revisiting the past. I know how much you love that. And this time it was even better. The trip you referred to earlier, I did that alone a couple of years ago, a couple of summers ago. Didn't plan anything. I just kind of went. Wherever the wind blows me, that's where I'm going to end up. And that was great. But this last trip was with my dad. And a friend of his passed away, and he called me to tell me about that. And he said, I hope my friend whose wife passed away, I hope my friend understands that I'm not going to be able to make it to the funeral. And I said, well, how come? And he said, well, the travel's rough. I mean, Dad's 83 now, and that's a little rough. And he said, I'm not going to be able to go. And after I hung up with him, I thought, well, how come I couldn't take him? So I called him back, and I said, what if I drive you to the funeral? It's only 800 miles there and 800 miles back, And he said, oh, no, I could never ask you to, no. And we hung up, and then the next day I got a text from him and said, if you were serious, I'd like to do that. So that was great.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm not going to this funeral because I don't know this person, but I'll drop you off.
Yeah, that's right.
But I had an agenda. The agenda was, of course, to get my dad to his friend's funeral, but also just to have time with my dad. That's a lot of hours in the car. And I said, once we get to Michigan and we get to our hometown, I'm just going to ask him to drive me around. Like, where did you play? Where did you work? What did you do? And he did all of those things. I dropped him off at the funeral, and I went and worked on my laptop for a little while. And then he called me and said, is my Uber ready?
That's right. Some guy named
said,
Curt.
Yes. So I went and picked him up, and then I just said, Dad, the rest of the day is yours. I said, we're going to go to lunch at some point whenever you get hungry, but the rest of the day is yours. Where do you want to go? And he said, let's go to my dad's grave. I said, okay, let's go. And we drove there first. Tiny town in the middle of nowhere. we had no idea where the plot was.
Mm.
My dad and his dad didn't have much of a relationship, and therefore I didn't either. Barely knew my grandpa, and he left the family when my dad was like 6 years old. So there was not much of a relationship there, and we had no idea where we were even going. But yet, I pulled the car in, and we pulled over, and we got out of the car, and his gravesite was right there. Yeah, I was like, wait, this is him right here?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
And then I just let my dad have a moment. He walked over there and he stood over his father's grave, and I just stepped back. Just stepped back and didn't say a word. And it was quiet, and you could just hear birds, and that's it. And I snapped one picture because I didn't want to lose that. And that was it. After a while, I walked up to him, and he was okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't overly emotional, but I just really do wish I knew what was going through his head.
I was just going to ask you that. It's like we've known each other a long time. That's what I was going to ask you is what do you think was, running through his head? What thoughts do you think he was, not saying out loud?
Yeah, yeah. I really think it was forgiveness.
Mm.
It was just, hey, he did what he did. He lived his life. I live mine. He made his decisions. I make mine. My son makes his.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. I really think that was it. And I did question him much later on that night after the trip was all over with. We went and got a gigantic tall beer somewhere. And I asked him about forgiveness, and he actually said he never really needed to forgive him.
Mm.
But I think he did. I think he did. I think what he was really saying is I was never bitter about it. But I think there was a level of wish I would have had a dad, but he did what he did. And
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then we went to his mother's gravesite.
Mm.
And that's in a whole different side of town because, of course, they were broken up. And so we did that. And then this was a huge moment for me. His and my mom's gravesite is already set.
Mm.
And we visited that.
Goodness.
Yeah. And again, I let him go over there and just look at his name on the gravesite. And I just didn't say anything, just stayed back. And then you kind of have to know my dad, but he's got an awesome sense of humor. So, this moment was pretty heavy, staring at your own grave. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And he turned around at some point when he got tired of the heaviness, I think. He turned around and he went, well, I'll definitely see you later.
That's right. I'll see you soon.
And that, believe me, that lightened up the entire thing. I was like, Dad.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. That's a lot different than going to the doctor and having them tell you have a certain amount of time to live. Now you're really looking at where you're, at the end of the day, depending on what you believe, it's just a plot of land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still staring you right in the face.
Yeah.
That would be a moment, honestly.
Right.
It would be a moment to just stand there and look at, okay.
Yeah. And then
I know where I came in this world, and this is where I'm
where your son is going to come and pay his respects.
Just like you just did. Right.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That's powerful. I mean, just knowing where you came into the world, whatever state you were born, or city you were born in, and this is the finish line here. Man, that's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
And then the trip got really fun after that.
Well, that was heavy. That was started off on the heavy note.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
And then we went to lunch. So there was like a gap between the real heaviness and then going to lunch. And then afterwards, he showed me places he worked. He had so many stories. It was just priceless stories. And then we drove by the house that built me, the house that I grew up in. And we were just going to drive by it and go, yeah,
there it is.
They're not taking care of the trees like we did, right?
That's not how I cut the grass. That's right.
Different you always gotta be judgy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that looks so much better when we lived there. Did you ever notice that?
Right.
And but I saw the people that lived there were out on the back deck, and I was like, well, we're stopping in.
Yeah.
And Dad was like, oh, I don't know about that. I said, yeah. I pulled in the driveway and just got out of the car and walked straight to the deck. And I said, hi, I used to live here.
How did they receive you?
It was great. And they were so cool. They were just the greatest people. And they were like, you want to come in and look at your old house? And I'm like, absolutely. And they gave us a little tour, and we were, pointing out all the rooms and how they used to look. And man, what a feeling. It was just amazing. Standing in my old kitchen, and I just kind of looked up at my old room, and I just kind of went, can I go up there?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was
what did that feel like?
Absolutely. Go ahead. And the weirdest thing happened. I ran up the stairs when she said, "Yeah, go ahead." I just naturally just jogged up the stairs.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days. And I grabbed the railing, and the railing made this clicking noise. And I'm like, that's the exact clicking noise from 40 years ago.
Wow.
First of all, nobody ever repaired that click.
That's right. Fix the newel post like Christmas Vacation.
Wow.
Anyway, sorry.
So that clicking noise was really something. I mean, that just brings you back. So then I get up to my old room, and I'm just standing in the middle of my old room, and I'm just sitting there, first of all, amazed at how small it is. Every corner that I looked was like, okay, there was my racetrack, my little Tyco racetrack right there.
Yeah.
My black and white TV was right there.
Yep.
Big jam box in the corner.
That's right. Yep.
You know, the poster of Farrah Fawcett is on the door.
That poster. the poster.
The Farrah Fawcett
Farrah
poster,
Fawcett
yeah.
poster.
Young people are going, I got to Google Farrah
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's right. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Iconic. It's funny. I did the same thing, and I recommend, maybe for anybody that can do that, if that's a good memory for you,
Yeah.
or even if it's maybe a little bit of a tough memory, just go visit, do it.
Yeah.
I did that, as you know, and, popped into Cleveland a couple years ago, and it was healing for me. I didn't get to go in the house or my room because the lady that lives there now, her son had COVID at the time. And so wasn't allowed to go in the house or my room. And he was in my room particularly. But, the thing that was really cool about my room, I've never been a good sleeper. Before people diagnosed ADHD and anxiety and mental illness and all the other things that come with it and the labels that we can talk about now, I just had all those. And my mom hand plastered the ceiling with her fingers. She would put plaster up and then swirl it. So it had these cool swirls in it.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me at the time, she put I think there was 11 to 15 different words that were my favorite things, and afterwards, when it was all dry and done, she told me about it. And she was like, that way, when you're laying in bed at night, you can look up. It was almost like a search and find because they were hidden within the swirls. And so I would. They were centering for me before we even knew what that word meant. This is back in the 80s.
Right.
And so I would lay in my bed and look up and find those words. And eventually I knew right where they were and I could just find them immediately. Yeah. But for those first few months, man, I was looking she didn't tell me what they were. She didn't tell me where they were. I had to find them on my own, but it calmed me down. It centered me and it took me out of the space that I was in. So
wow, what a great idea.
I would have loved to have seen those again.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Very cool. So yeah, I'd recommend that for some people, but I understand too, for some people, it's probably like Forrest Gump. Sometimes there's just not enough stones.
Yeah. Exactly.
And if that's the case too,
it really
then
does depend on
okay.
what kind of things you want to dig back up. You know, for me, it was just, like I didn't have the perfect childhood, but I had a really good one. And, for me, it wasn't even when I stood there in the middle of my room, it wasn't even thinking about the things that I miss or lost. It was more like, I'm kind of the same guy. I'm still curious. I'm still playful. I'm still like a 12-year-old way deep down inside there. And so for me, it was just a reminder of like who I still am, which was really something. I even heard as I was standing there looking at my window, I was on the second floor and I'm looking at that window and I could even hear the rocks hitting the window because that's how my friend used to get me to come downstairs. We didn't text back then, right?
That's right. You didn't have that.
We threw rocks.
Yeah. Yeah. That was your DM. Back then, you could just ping somebody with a pebble on their window, not a big rock because that would break the window. Yeah, man, what a rich time, and I know you and I are both very nostalgic that way, and love looking back at it. I do want to talk about a song that was originally why we had talked about today, but there was just a lot that we got to catch up on. I do want to ask you one thing, and then we will transition to that. It's going to be the worst transition ever in the world. But first off, I do want to ask you this because it's news and. You were a DJ. You and I both love music. I think we both love the impact of music, especially, Christian music in the world today. But you and I love all music. And I think I have said many times, you and I've talked about it, one of my favorite worship songs is not a worship song, is Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. I think it's the greatest worship song ever written, if you listen to it the right way, in the right lens. It's a letter from God to each one of us that He loves us just the way we are. Anyway, Michael Tate, lead man from the Newsboys, DC Talk member. Most of us grew up on DC Talk. Been waiting for them to get that reunion. Maybe we know why they're not doing it now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Talked to a DJ this week that I was actually at a radio station, and he told me, it's been known in the industry for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Worst kept secret in Nashville.
So I have to ask you, though, you do live in Nashville. Are there more of those, Curt? Like, and you don't have to name names. Let's not out anybody.
Yeah.
Not, no pun intended. But like, is there more of that? I think a lot of people right now are a little shook. I just saw something about Need to Breathe's lead singer just before we got on here, abusing his own brother. So now this stuff's starting to come out.
Yeah.
I hate that for the quote unquote Christian community, the Christian music label. But I think a lot of people, because I've heard this before, that a lot of those guys are just getting a check. Now, I want to believe their best heart. I believe that at the end of the day, I wouldn't want somebody judging me.
Yeah.
But I'm also not on a stage in front of 20,000 people.
Right.
And so my first question to you is there a lot of that in Nashville?
I don't think there's a lot of it. No.
Good.
But there is some of it because the people that are making this music are human.
Yeah.
And humans, we just sin.
That's right.
That's what we do.
That's right.
We just do. First and foremost, my prayer is for the victims. That is often lost in this because of the celebrity. I see people going, oh, well, maybe we should just pray for Michael. Well, definitely.
100%.
But first and foremost, we pray for the victims because some of these victims, and, the truth will come out, but some of these victims were minors. So
that's what's being said.
Yeah.
And that's concerning.
This is bad.
At any point, it's terrible, but it's even worse if it's a minor because, and they're also talking about it's been for decades, Curt.
Yeah.
Decades. And so those victims have probably carried that for decades.
Yeah.
And it has probably shaped them.
Yes. And not only the crushing blow of what happened, but who was the perpetrator, someone that they, lifted up and trusted as a hero. So yeah, dealing with that, awful. But maybe it's the optimist in me because I don't have like firsthand knowledge, but the optimist in me says that this type of horrific behavior is very, very rare. And I don't think it's pervasive in the industry, but that could be, like I said, it could be my rose-colored glasses. It is just like the regular music industry, money.
It is. It's the root of all evil, 100%.
The love of it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what moves needles, and that makes some people get drunk on success. It's money, and it's also fame. And I've always felt uncomfortable, always going to some concert with someone that is a Christian artist and praising them. There's always that line. It's like, I want to praise the lyrics. I want to praise the spirit of why we're here. I don't want to say, oh my gosh, that person is amazing.
Right.
Because they're not. They just have an interesting job.
They bleed like we do. They have the same challenges we do. If anything, they're even greater. And I did post that the other day. Michael Tate and Newsboys had a line that said, let our faith be more than anthems. And I think to your point, that's it. Let our faith be more than anthems or the guys singing it or females singing it, the artists, the bands. Let our faith be more than that. I thought that was so chilling when I heard, when I thought about that lyric that they sing, because that's the truth. And I do believe the bigger the stage, the greater the opportunity for the enemy to do a lot of damage. And I'm not diminishing my role, whatever I do for a living, your role, whatever you do for a living. But boy, again, I'm not in front of 20,000 people every night of the, in front of a concert.
Right.
If I can, I look at it from the enemy's perspective, and you have to think, if I can get that guy to fall, and 20,000 people just heard him testify last night, maybe some of them got saved. Boy, that's a win. That's a big win. And that goes for megachurch pastors. It goes for athletes, it goes for anyone in that spotlight that steps up on that big stage. That is a massive weight to carry.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
And you really got to surround yourself with the right people that'll tell you, and I'm not blaming anyone in this situation. I'm just saying it's so important for those people to be surrounded by truth tellers.
Yeah.
That'll say, hey, in this case, again, I'm just saying, hey, Michael, man, this isn't good, dude. And I don't know, maybe he had those people in his life, maybe ignored them. Have no idea. Don't know any of these details. They're just coming out. But either way, it's sad. And I was just curious, as one who's in Nashville, how much you hear about those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was one heartbreaking thing in his Instagram post where he basically admitted much of this. It was heartbreaking to me when he said he has spent 20 years living a double life.
Right. It's exhausting. It has to be exhausting.
has to be exhausting. And at a time when we're looking for authenticity, at a time when we're looking for truth, to have somebody say, yeah, I haven't been living truth in decades.
Mm.
And I, you know, have been drinking alcohol and doing
Cocaine.
cocaine and doing these things that he does not dispute. That's heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking because he's basically saying Satan attacked me and I went along with it.
Right.
And while I won't blame people around him, I will say so many people knew. Please tell somebody.
Right.
When there are victims involved, please
Yeah.
tell somebody.
Yeah.
This
can't
person's
empower it.
celebrity doesn't matter. Again, they just do an interesting job. That's
Right.
it.
Right.
So if somebody's abusing somebody and taking advantage and manipulating, please say something. Let's not have that because we need truth and authenticity.
Yeah. The prayer again is for the victims. And I honestly, I don't want to see a situation where the media now pushes them to the forefront. They've dealt with this their whole life. I'm sure they've probably been in therapy. And if not, I'm sure they will hopefully seek that out at this point. I don't want to make them the stars at this point. They probably just want to be left alone and heal. Now they can possibly heal because at least people know, you know what I mean? They know who the person was that had these things caused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to go down a sad topic there, but I don't know. I just wanted to ask you about that since you're in Nashville. Let's talk about something else because we did talk about this. Speaking of music, that was a pretty good transition. I pulled that in. You see how I did that?
Very good one. Yes.
So the other day I'm cutting the grass. You know, that's when we do our best thinking and honestly best listening to music. That's when we hear music is when I cut the grass for me. That's when I really hear music because I'm in my own little white box and looking at just lanes back and forth in the backyard. Song pops on by Ed Sheeran because I had it on shuffle and I'd never heard it. It was called Old Phone. And I'm like, at first I was like, this is kind of dumb because it's kind of this sing-songy, you know, fun, whatever. And then I'm listening to the lyrics. By the end of it, I had to sit down for a minute. I wasn't crying. I wasn't broken down or anything. I was like, wow, that was a song.
Yeah.
That was a song. And it's funny because if somebody redid it and they did it to slow, sad music, it'd be even more powerful. But it is kind of this fun, like almost, you know, poppy number.
Yeah.
And
it's very Ed.
It's very Ed. Yeah, it's just
Ed,
so him. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good one, Ed. Okay, wait, what did he just say? Wait, dead friends. What did he just say?
Yeah.
And then I put it on shuffle and I just kept repeating it over and over and over again. And I just kept soaking it in. I think I sent it to you right away. I'm like, you got to hear the song.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Old Phone by Ed Sheeran. So let me set the stage. It's about he pulls out an old phone out of a box. And we all got them. I got a whole drawer of them right behind me. Back to my Trio days and my BlackBerry days and my Nokia days. Like I literally have probably every phone on market back here somewhere between me and my kids.
Yeah.
And so it's funny. And the point of the song was he pulled it out, plugged it in, and he started going through his contacts. And he said this on a show. He is not on his phone anymore. He doesn't use his phone. He uses a tablet.
Right. Right.
And that was very public. He said, I'm off social media. I'm not doing social media. He might now, I don't know. But for years he did not. But then he got involved in a lawsuit of I think it was about his music or a song or something.
Yeah.
And so he pulled out these old phones and it just like hit him. It's almost like going back home. So what's your thoughts on Old Phone when you heard it the first time? What were you thinking?
Oh, man. Yeah. I thought it was super interesting about what a digital footprint we leave. And I thought it was brilliant how he made an object the character of a song. That's super interesting. I think he's brilliant.
He is brilliant.
I really do. I think he sees these things and just goes, wow, how can I get creative with this? Which is just amazing. But you're right. The genesis of this is that it was subpoenaed, basically. He needed proof in this lawsuit. And so he had to go through his old phone and it was subpoenaed. And so he powered it up and he's looking at old pictures, old texts, dead friends, as he says.
Dead friends, yes.
Arguments, family members that he no longer talks to, or at least one. And he wrote the lyrics based on all of the feelings around that. And it was, he was visiting ghosts, right? Like a time machine.
Yeah.
And he turned that into amazing lyrics. And he tested it out at the Bluebird Cafe here in Nashville first.
I thought it was in Nashville. That's right.
Yeah. And overwhelming response from the crowd. So he said, I think I've got something here. And then I think he performed it on maybe Fallon for the first time. But
he did.
Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. And so, like we said before, so Ed.
It's so Ed. Yeah. And I love how he did it for his music video. I don't know what platform he did it on, but he basically put out a request and said, hey, send me some videos of, old photos, old videos. I have chills. So you have to go watch it on YouTube because I probably won't explain it well enough. It made the song. So when I went and I had listened to it many times, I went and watched the video and it just got even deeper.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, wow. Because I didn't see it through the lens that these people, one mom said it was a video of her two daughters playing together. Like the oldest and the youngest, she said they're 2 of 5 and the other 3 aren't here. So I assume maybe they had a hard time getting pregnant. I don't know. She didn't go into details.
Yeah.
But it was like, wow. And, it's, what was another one? I think there was another one of it was celebrations. It was celebrations. There was, I think, a guy that talked about I think it was a video of his dad or something like that.
Yeah.
Like you talked about earlier.
There was somebody's grandmother dancing at a wedding.
Yes.
And he said,
and so they were happy. They were happy.
Time. Yeah.
And that's what I enjoyed about the video is it kind of pulled you back a little bit because when you listen to the song, it's like, wow, that's, because I bet if I pull up some of my old phones, I have friends that have passed away. And there's probably text in there on some memory card like we had to do it in the old days, And so I really felt that when he said that. It was like, wow. And so I'm going to read one of the lines, nostalgia trying to lead me astray. Maybe I'll unright some wrongs. You talked about that.
Yeah.
Some old fights that maybe you left in that old phone and you never resolved. That line jumped out at me. You said it already. Conversations with my dead friends, messages from all my exes. He says that as well. And then this is where it got really good. I feel an overwhelming sadness of all the friends I do not have left, seeing how my family has fractured growing up and moving on. The growing up and moving on got me because we're dads, and now our family's not fractured. And I'm thankful for that. And if anybody's listening and theirs isn't, I'm very sorry. But yeah, just the growing up and moving on. Like I said, going through Google Photos when we talked about in the beginning, being a granddad now, seeing those pictures, my kids are, man, they're growing up and moving on now. And it's like, that'd probably be in an old phone when you pull it up, those memories.
Yeah.
This is the line that got me. It said, I found my old phone today, so full of love, yet so full of hate. I put it back inside whence it came. Nothing good will come from regretting.
Yeah.
It's towards the end of the song. Like, you know what? He's right. I mean, he's right. Whatever's in that old phone, it's in the past. And that's what I loved about that. What he said, if you got forgiveness, you need to do. I mean, so we could go a whole lot of layers there, but
yeah. Well, that's what's brilliant about the song is how many layers you can go into it. And it is just endless. I mean, even he had a line about how he holds people close to him now with a closed hand.
Yes.
That's a really powerful metaphor that his hand is still closed because he's opened it before and he's been hurt. And so even that line you could unpack for an hour, just that one sentence. So brilliant. The guy is just brilliant. And I hope this song just takes off. I don't even know how old it is. It's fairly recent, I would think, but
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't listen to regular radio very often. We all kind of stream. And so we hear what we hear and I don't know, but yeah, I agree. And the other thing too that I had, it was almost like you said, it's another meaning was, I said, or the dead friends. My first thought was, I have some friends that have passed away. And so that was where my head went. But then the more I thought about it, we have friends that we let those friendships go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe they're on our old phone, but maybe we just don't talk to them anymore. Whatever, life happens, right? And so dead could be looked at in another way. And if anything, it just reminded me, I need to reach out to those people a little bit more. You know what I mean? They're not dead. I wish I could reach out to the ones that did pass away. So anyway, there's so many layers to that song and I love it so much. It's very, very good. I have to tell you a funny story. I've mentioned it before this on the podcast. When I took Emma to see, that'd be Princess 1.0. When I took her to see Taylor Swift years ago, when she turned 13, the opening act, we got there a little bit late. We got there and some dude up front singing some song about houses or Lego houses or tiny houses or something. I'm like, I swear, Curt, I swear to you, I looked at him and I go, man, this guy sucks. It was that chair.
That guy's got no shot.
Seriously, I go, this guy sucks. It was like, what is he singing? It's about houses? What? Come on. This guy's terrible. Bring out Taylor. Taylor knows. Taylor knows. She knew what she was doing when she had Ed. And that tells you how long ago it was. Ed was opening for her. So anyway, he's brilliant. A brilliant song. So if people get a chance, check it out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I can see how he looks to Elton John and, by extension, Bernie Taupin. Just terrific lyrics and the music perfectly with it. I can see why he likes that so much, because he's sort of our new Elton John. I've always thought that about him. First time I went to his concert, I surprised Emily, my daughter, and I just said, "Hey, we're having a daddy-daughter date tonight." And she's like, "Okay, great. Where are we going?" And I said, "Well, we're going to a restaurant." She's like, "Okay, great." And we're driving, and the whole time I had tickets to Ed, and it was so great. And then I pulled over at some point to get gas or something, and I go, "By the way, there's something in the trunk for you." And she went back there and opened the trunk, and it was an Ed Sheeran T-shirt. And she's like, "What is this?" And I said, "By the way, we're going right now."
You might want to put that on. That's right. Why
That
don't
was
you run
such
in
a
and put
great
that
moment.
on? That's
But
awesome.
the whole time I liked him, but the whole time I was thinking it's going to be kind of boring because he doesn't have a band.
Yeah.
You know, this is not like, Pink when you go there and she's on a trapeze. And
That's right. He's not strapped to some.
yeah, he's not strapped. He's not flying through the air. Yeah. And so I was pleasantly surprised how much one guy with a guitar can be so good and so engaging. He's terrific in person. So if you get a chance, definitely go see Ed in concert. If he's still touring, definitely go see him, because it's amazing what one dude can do. It's great.
Can make that thing sing, and then he also has just such a great voice. And you and I have talked about before, the song "Castles on a Hill." Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
Where he talks about going back home, and love it. And especially when we just talked about going back home. We have talked about this. I would love to still do this. I'd love to still make this happen. Do episodes like this where we just talk about songs and we break them down.
Yeah.
And before we get out of here, you mentioned Elton John. You once said, I think his favorite song is, what's it called? The Secret Garden? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And what's the line in there that you said one time? Because I was like, wow. Like I've heard that song 8 million times.
Yeah.
I never heard that lyric. Do you know what it is?
Yeah. It's funny how one insect can damage so much grain. And he was talking about the person who killed John Lennon.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's what the lyric means. It's funny how one insect can damage so much grain.
Well, I think that can be applied everywhere.
Yeah.
From corporate America to,
certainly.
We talked about Christian music earlier. Yep. We talked about the enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, we did not talk politics because I don't do that on this show. But
so good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's refreshing, right? It's just, I just don't want to do that on the show. But it's funny how an insect can, destroy so much grain, man.
Yeah.
So
true.
true.
One tiny thing. And it goes back to what we talked about with Michael Tate. Is it pervasive? I doubt it. And I certainly pray it's not. But it only takes one insect, and it only takes one person to fall. And that's why the prayer goes to him after the victims, because we don't want someone to fall.
No.
I want to go to heaven and see Michael Tate there and go, dude, I'm so happy.
So happy you're here. Yeah.
I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah.
And anyone who thinks that's not redeemable doesn't understand the faith, because God loves us way more than anything that we can do horrible. The prisons are full of people who we're going to see in heaven.
Good as always, Curt. Question I always ask my guests. I can't wait to hear your answer to this. What would you tell your younger self?
Nothing. Because that dude needs to go through it. And he doesn't get a cheat code. So even something as little as telling him it's going to be okay, I don't even want him to know that. I just want him to look at that storm and go, okay, I need to go through that.
I figured out.
So I wouldn't tell him a thing. I would just unveil the fact that he's not going to have hair, and that'd be it.
You're going to be a member of Right Said Fred with Aaron. So
that's it. That's all you get, dude. Sorry about that.
We're still too sexy. All right. Before we get out of here, what links can people find you? And I do have one last question that just came in my mind. But where can people find you?
CurtHarding.com. It's with a C, CurtHarding.com. And you can listen to a podcast that I did with me, my trip with my dad. I called it Road Trippin' with Pops. And little did he know that I was recording some of him as he was telling stories. I would kind of press my phone recorder while he was talking. And later when I produced it and put it out there, I said, hey, Dad, you might want to go to my podcast and listen to our trip. And he did. And he texted me back and said, it's illegal to record someone without their knowledge.
That's right.
He goes, I'd sue you, Dad, but I know you don't have anything.
I love your dad. I hope I get to meet him.
He's
I really do. I love it. The last question I was going to ask you, do you have a title for the book yet?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Don't Call Me Strong.
Hmm.
It's a story, several stories about people who have overcome incredible things, including some horrific things. And the one theme, as I interviewed each person, the one theme that kept coming up is I'm no hero and I'm not strong. And one person even said, when people say you're so strong, they actually were offended by it
Hmm.
because they know the truth. And that is that maybe I appear strong today, but I'm not. So I was kind of struck by that. I don't know if it'll be the final title, but Don't Call Me Strong was really interesting to me.
You could do Curt Strong and then get like yellow bracelets.
Yeah.
They may catch on like a bunch
Yeah,
of
because
people.
that's never been done.
It's never been done. I think it would really catch on. That I'm not. Hopefully, if anybody heard that, I'm not talking. I mean, that was a great movement. It really was.
It really
you know,
was.
because it showed everybody I'm fighting for somebody, or
Heck
I
yeah.
got somebody. And so I don't mean to make a joke out of that, but I was trying to be funny with you. So, all right, I am strong. Possibly.
Don't Call Me Strong.
Don't call me strong.
Yeah.
I need to read the book. No, all right. Don't Call Me Strong. Potentially out there soon. When it is, you got to come back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got to come back. We'll promote it and
Definitely
talk about it.
Definitely shooting for next summer.
Okay.
Maybe earlier. And it will have, I thought this was a unique idea. And since I didn't come up with it, I can say it's brilliant. Someone came up with this idea, and that is that I'll do podcast with each of these people that I'm interviewing.
Mm.
And then when you read their story in the book, there'll be a QR code after the end of the story where you can click on and actually listen to the person in their own voice. So that's a great idea.
That's a great idea.
So I've already started the interviews and going home to Michigan in a couple of weeks to get 2 more. So
nice.
Stay tuned.
And it's the Short Pause podcast, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
The Short Pause with Curt Harding. Book possibly next summer. CurtHarding.com. Blogger, writer, just an awesome dude, and now grandfather.
Yes. Can you believe that?
Husband,
I don't know what I'm going to be
grandfather.
called yet. I don't know what I'm going to be called. I kind of want to be Pops, but you know they're gonna call you what they're gonna call you, right?
That's right. You just hope it's nice.
Right. Exactly.
Just hope it's nice. I'm gonna go with Pop. I feel like you.
I like that.
Yeah.
I also
feel
like Papa
Pop
Curt
might be a good
because
one.
it kind of sounds like Papa Smurf.
Yeah, that's right. I like it. Okay. Well, you'll have to come back and update us on what the name is, when the book is ready, all those things, man. Thanks for coming along the walk today to get this thing hopefully back off the ground again and back up in the air. We'll see what happens.
Man,
it'll be
so
in the cloud
great to
if
see
nothing
you.
else.
It's so great to see you. And I got to tell you,
Thanks.
when I got your text after you were mowing your lawn and heard those lyrics and stuff, first of all, I laughed at you. I always laugh at you. I'm like, Aaron, but at the same time, I just love how a person feels, like when they feel, and they're not ashamed to say they felt. And, you said you sat down, you didn't, get emotional or cry or anything, but you just had to sit down for a minute and feel. And I love your vulnerability that you're cool about just saying that. I heard these lyrics and I went, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Off with that lawnmower.
That's right. It happens a lot.
Curt.
I actually got to go cut the grass now. So who knows what I'll run into today on my adventures cutting the grass.
I'll wait for the text.
All right. There you go. I'll send you whatever song. Man, I love you. I appreciate you. Give my love to the family.
Will do.
Check on our reservation at Mellow Mushroom. I think it's been 12 years since we put that in. It may be ready at that table, may be ready.
No, still not ready. Just check.
Still not ready.
Sorry.
Okay. It's going to be one heck of a pizza when we get it. I love you, man. Give my love to the Harding family. And thanks for doing this with me today.
You got it. Thanks for having me.